Private, E1, entry-level soldier. This is where every enlisted soldier starts their journey in the US Army. At E1, you're a fresh recruit with no insignia on your uniform, a blank slate ready to be forged into a soldier. Your world revolves around basic combat training, BCT, where you learn the fundamentals, marksmanship, drill and ceremony, army values, first aid, and the art of teamwork. Privates don't give orders, they take them. It's all about learning discipline, building resilience, and proving you've got what it takes to wear the uniform. Promotion to E2 usually happens automatically after about 6 months if you stay squared away. Private, E2. First promotion. Now you're wearing a single chevron on your chest. You're still new, but you're no longer the newest of the new. At this level, soldiers start applying their skills in their military occupational specialty, MOS, whether that's infantry, mechanics, logistics, or intelligence. You're still under close supervision, but leaders are watching to see if you can follow orders without being babysat. With 6 months of service, steady performance, and no major screw-ups, you'll likely pin on E3 before long. Private First Class, E3, independent performer. The insignia is a chevron over a rocker. Now you're expected to handle your job with less hand-holding. You're no longer just a trainee, you're a functional member of the squad. Whether it's firing team maneuvers, operating a vehicle, or running communications gear, you've got to show independence. PFCS form the backbone of America's fighting force, reliable soldiers who keep the mission moving. Typically, promotion to PFC happens after a year in service, but high-speed troops can move faster. Specialist E4, technical expert. That green patch with the eagle on it means you're trusted for your technical skills. Specialists are the Army's workhorses, mechanics, signal techs, medics, intel analysts, the people who keep everything running. You're expected to know your MOS cold and help mentor newer soldiers. You don't hold leadership authority like a corporal, but you might supervise tasks in your specialty. Most soldiers hit this rank after about 2 years, though college grads or folks with prior civilian expertise can start here right out of the gate. Corporal, E4, first leadership role. Same pay grade as a specialist, but a whole different ballgame. With 2 chevrons on your chest, you're officially a non-commissioned officer NCO. That means you're in charge of a fire team of 4 to 5 soldiers. You set the standard in training, discipline, and morale. You'll be the one ensuring your guys are squared away, uniforms sharp, weapons clean, boots shined, and minds focused. Promotion to corporal requires leadership potential and usually the basic leader course BLC. It's your first taste of command in the Army. Sergeant, E5, backbone of the Army. 3 chevrons, that means you're a sergeant, the legendary backbone of the Army. This is where leadership gets real. You're directly responsible for your squad, training them, disciplining them, motivating them, and making sure they're mission ready. Sergeants also start writing counseling statements and performance reviews. Promotion requires solid evaluations, BLC completion, and usually around 3 years of service. At this rank, soldiers don't just follow you because of your stripes, they follow you because you've earned their respect. Staff Sergeant, E6, squad leader. 3 chevrons over 1 rocker. Staff sergeants command squads of 9 to 10 soldiers and are expected to be battle-tested leaders. You're coordinating training schedules, supervising day-to-day operations, and making sure your squad can deploy at a moment's notice. You also spend time mentoring young NCOs and developing them into future leaders. Promotion requires the Advanced Leader Course, ALC, an excellent track record, and usually around 8 years in uniform. Sergeant First Class, E7, platoon sergeant, 3 chevrons over 2 rockers. At this stage, you're the senior enlisted leader for a platoon, usually 30 to 40 soldiers. You're the right-hand advisor to the platoon leader, a second lieutenant fresh out of ROTC or West Point, and you're the one who makes sure their orders are realistic and executable. SFCS plan training, enforce standards, and keep the platoon sharp. Most soldiers hit this rank after 10 to 13 years, and it requires completion of the Senior Leader Course, SLC. Master Sergeant, E8, Senior Staff NCO, 3 chevrons over 3 rockers. Master Sergeants are big-picture leaders. Instead of focusing on a squad or platoon, you're working at the battalion level and above, handling staff duties, logistics, operations, and administration. You're the commander's trusted enlisted advisor for managing resources and planning missions. Promotion is tough and competitive, usually requiring 15+ years of service and top-notch performance. First Sergeant, E8, company level leader, same stripes as a Master Sergeant but with a diamond in the center. That diamond means you own the company, not in command, but in spirit. As the senior NCO of a company, 100 to 200 soldiers, you are responsible for the health, morale, welfare, and discipline of every enlisted soldier. You're the commander's enlisted right-hand man or woman, and you set the tone for the unit. Every soldier in that company knows who the first sergeant is. Sergeant Major, E9. Senior enlisted advisor. 3 chevrons, 3 rockers, and a star in the center. Sergeants Major are senior enlisted leaders at battalion level and higher. You're not leading squads anymore. You're shaping the culture of entire formations. You advise commanders on soldier issues, enforce discipline across the board, and oversee big-picture operations. By now, you've got 16+ years of experience and have graduated from the Sergeants Major Academy. Command Sergeant Major, E9, Command Level Advisor. Same stripes, but with a star inside a wreath. A Command Sergeant Major is the senior enlisted advisor to battalion, brigade, division, corps, and higher-level commanders. You're visible, influential, and represent the enlisted force at ceremonies, meetings, and in the daily grind of Army life. You're the one ensuring thousands of soldiers maintain discipline and stay motivated. Sergeant Major of the Army, E9 SMA, top enlisted soldier. Only one soldier in the entire Army wears this rank. 3 chevrons, 3 rockers, an eagle, and 2 stars. The Sergeant Major of the Army is the Chief of Staff's right-hand enlisted advisor, the voice of every enlisted soldier in the U.S. Army. The SMA speaks for the enlisted force on training, equipment, quality of life, and modernization. It's the top of the ladder, the pinnacle of an enlisted soldier's career. Warrant Officer 1, W01, Entry-Level Warrant Officer. Warrant officers are the Army's technical warriors. With a black square on a silver bar, W01S are fresh out of Warrant Officer Candidate School, WOCS, and stepping into highly specialized fields, like aviation, intel, cyber, or logistics. They're not about leading troops, they're about bringing unmatched technical mastery. Chief Warrant Officer, 2-5, CW, 2-CW5. Technical Masters. As you move up, 2 squares, 3 squares, 4 squares, and finally the single horizontal stripe of a CW5, you're becoming the Army's go-to authority in your field. CW2s are advanced leaders, CW3s are seasoned experts, CW4s shape policy at the brigade and division level, and CW5s are rare, legendary figures, the absolute masters of their trade. If you need an Apache helicopter pilot who can land in the dark on a postage stamp, you call a warrant officer. Second Lieutenant, 01, Entry-Level Officer. The gold bar means you're a butter bar, fresh out of ROTC, OCS, or West Point. You command a platoon of 16 to 44 soldiers, but in truth, you're learning just as much as you're leading. Your platoon sergeant is your lifeline. Promotion to O2 usually comes after 18 to 24 months. First Lieutenant, O2. Developing leader. Now, wearing silver, you've got more experience under your belt. You might still lead a platoon, or you could be working in the company or battalion staff. You're expected to operate more independently, think critically, and prepare for company command. Captain, 03, Company Commander. With 2 silver bars, you command a company, battery, or troop, 100 to 200 soldiers. You're responsible for everything they do or fail to do. Captains are also key staff officers at higher echelons, handling operations, intelligence, or logistics. Promotion to Major usually comes around the 10-year mark. Major, 04, Field Grade Staff Officer. The gold oak leaf means you're a major. Majors are the planners and organizers, operations officers, executive officers, or specialty staff. You're shaping missions, allocating resources, and keeping battalions or brigades running. Lieutenant Colonel, 05, Battalion Commander, Silver Oak Leaf. You're in charge of a battalion, 300 to 1,000 soldiers, or serving in a senior staff position. This is where you prove you're ready for the big leagues. Colonel, 06, Brigade Commander. The Silver Eagle means you're commanding a brigade of 3,000 to 5,000 soldiers. Colonels are strategic leaders who bridge the gap between the tactical and strategic levels of war. General officer ranks: O7 to O10. Brigadier General, O7. 1 star, Deputy Division Commander or Senior Staff. Major General, O8. 2 stars, Division Commander, 10,000 to 15,000 soldiers. Lieutenant General, O9. 3 stars, Corps Commander, 20,000 to 45,000 soldiers. General, O10. 4 stars, Theatre Commander or Chief of Staff of the Army. And that brings us to the ultimate rank, General of the Army, the rare 5-star rank reserved only for total war. Last awarded during World War II to commanders like Eisenhower and MacArthur, it hasn't been used since Omar Bradley retired in 1981. Private. Private is the lowest enlisted rank in the United States Marine Corps. Marines at this level wear no insignia, which is why they are sometimes called slick sleeve. Their primary responsibility is to adapt to military life by mastering the basics of discipline, physical training, and the customs of the Corps. After completing boot camp, privates typically attend the School of Infantry to train as riflemen before moving into specialized fields. Most Marines only remain privates for about 6 months before promotion, provided they meet performance standards. Private First Class. Private First Class, or PFC, is the second lowest enlisted rank, positioned above Private and below Lance Corporal. The Marine Corps established this rank in 1916 to align with the Army, though the Army's PFC now sits 1 grade higher. Marines in this role continue developing fundamental skills while taking on more responsibilities in training and labor tasks. Advancement to Lance Corporal requires at least 8 months as a PFC and 9 months total service time, with performance and conduct evaluated by commanding officers. Lance Corporal. Lance Corporal is the 3rd enlisted rank and the highest Marines can hold without becoming a non-commissioned officer. It is also the most common rank in the Corps. Responsibilities include executing orders, learning leadership fundamentals, and preparing for the competitive process of promotion to corporal. Advancement is based on time in service, time in grade, and conduct, but limited availability of higher positions can delay promotion. Historically, this rank dates back to the 1830s, when Marines were temporarily promoted during the Indian Wars but still paid at their prior rank. Corporal. Corporal is the 4th enlisted rank and the lowest level of non-commissioned officer. Corporals begin formal leadership responsibilities. In infantry units, corporals often lead fire teams of 4 Marines or weapons crews. They may also act as squad leaders, though that role is usually held by a sergeant. In support units, corporals supervise junior Marines under the guidance of higher-ranking NCOS. The Marine Corps emphasizes smaller unit leadership, often giving corporals more authority and responsibility than their Army counterparts. Sergeant. Sergeant is the 5th enlisted rank and the 2nd NCO level, often called the backbone of the Marine Corps. Sergeants carry significant leadership duties. They typically lead a squad of about 8 Marines, serve as platoon guides assisting platoon sergeants, or take on specialized training leadership roles. At this point, performance evaluations shift from a numerical score system to fitness reports that measure leadership ability, proficiency, and overall performance. Since 1942, the Marine Corps has structured this rank to emphasize amphibious warfare and squad-level leadership using the 3 fire team system. Staff Sergeant. Staff Sergeant is the 6th enlisted rank and the 1st of the staff non-commissioned officer tier. Marines usually reach this level after around 6 years of service. Staff Sergeants commonly serve as platoon sergeants, section leaders, or senior supervisors, depending on their specialty. They are responsible for training, discipline, and readiness of their Marines, while also acting as a direct link between the officer corps and the junior enlisted. This rank requires advanced professional military education and marks the point where Marines begin to handle both tactical leadership and administrative duties. Gunnery Sergeant. Gunnery Sergeant, often called Gunny, is the 7th enlisted rank. At this level, Marines oversee company-sized units of around 180 personnel. They coordinate logistics, operations, and training both in garrison and in combat situations. Gunnery sergeants act as tactical advisors during missions, support command post operations, and maintain oversight of administration, supply, and discipline. Promotion to this rank requires at least 3 years as a staff sergeant, completion of professional education, and strong performance records. Marines serving as recruiters, drill instructors, or embassy security guards are often given preference in promotion. Master Sergeant. Master Sergeant is the 8th enlisted rank and shares the E8 pay grade with First Sergeant, though the two roles differ. Master Sergeants focus on technical leadership within their specific military occupational specialty. They serve as operations chiefs, overseeing logistics, maintenance, and combat support functions at higher levels. In aviation, artillery, and supply fields, Master Sergeants provide senior expertise and ensure operational efficiency. The title Top is often used informally for Master Sergeants, depending on unit traditions. First Sergeant. First Sergeant also holds the E8 pay grade, but follows the leadership-focused track instead of the technical route. They serve as senior enlisted advisors to company or battery commanders. Their responsibilities center on morale, discipline, and the welfare of Marines under their command. Unlike Master Sergeants, First Sergeants do not specialize in technical areas, but instead concentrate on unit readiness and personnel issues. Marines must choose between the First Sergeant path or the Master Sergeant path, as progression depends on leadership focus versus technical mastery. Master Gunnery Sergeant. Master Gunnery Sergeant is the 9th enlisted rank and represents the highest technical leadership position available. These Marines provide senior-level expertise in fields such as infantry, artillery, aviation, and logistics. At this level, they supervise large-scale operations including maintenance, supply chains, and advanced weapon systems. They typically serve at Marine aircraft wings, Marine logistics groups, or other major commands. While their pay grade equals that of Sergeant Major, their career trajectory is technical rather than command-oriented. Sergeant Major. Sergeant Major shares the E9 pay grade with Master Gunnery Sergeant, but represents the leadership track. Instead of technical oversight, Sergeants Major focus on unit-wide leadership and act as senior enlisted advisors to commanders at the battalion or higher level. They ensure discipline, manage morale, and serve as the primary voice for enlisted Marines within command leadership structures. Marines reaching this rank typically have decades of experience with at least 3 years as a First Sergeant and a record of leadership excellence. Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps. The Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps is the highest enlisted position, designated above E9 as a special pay grade. This Marine serves as the senior enlisted advisor to the Commandant of the Marine Corps. The role involves counseling on morale, training, discipline, and welfare of the entire enlisted force. Established in 1957, it was the first senior enlisted advisory billet in the U.S. military. The individual in this position serves a 4-year term, though tenure is ultimately at the discretion of the Commandant. While this is the top enlisted billet, the senior enlisted advisor to the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff technically outranks it in terms of inter-service authority. Warrant Officer 1. Warrant Officer 1 is the entry-level officer rank for Marines selected as technical specialists. Candidates must apply and be approved by the Secretary of the Navy. Upon acceptance, they attend the Warrant Officer Basic Course in Quantico, Virginia. Warrant officers are appointed to provide specialized technical expertise, bridging the gap between enlisted Marines and commissioned officers. Their authority is limited compared to commissioned officers, but greater than that of enlisted personnel. Chief Warrant Officer 2. Chief Warrant Officer 2, or CWO2, is the first commissioned rank within the Warrant Officer track. At this level, Marines assume full commissioning authority and typically serve as technical advisors at battalion-level commands. They lead in specific occupational specialties, providing expert guidance to commanders and organizations. Promotion eligibility requires demonstrated technical skill, leadership, and service performance as a Warrant Officer 1. Chief Warrant Officer 3. Chief Warrant Officer 3 represents an advanced technical leadership rank. Promotions are determined by selection boards based on evaluations of service records and performance. CWOS at this level serve as subject matter experts and often work in brigade-level assignments. Their authority grows to include advisory roles in decision-making at higher command levels while maintaining technical specialization. Chief Warrant Officer 4. Chief Warrant Officer 4 is recognized as a senior-level expert. These officers act as advisors between commanders and technical fields, resolving issues that arise across battalions, brigades, or divisions. They balance technical mastery with leadership responsibilities, often bridging operational decision-making with deep occupational knowledge. Promotion requires long service, proven expertise, and a record of advising commanders effectively. Chief Warrant Officer 5. Chief Warrant Officer 5 is the highest warrant officer rank in the Marine Corps. CWOS at this level perform the same advisory duties as CWO4, but on a broader scale, often across divisions or higher commands. They serve as the top technical experts in their specialties, holding authority equivalent to senior commissioned officers in their field of expertise. Advancement to this level is extremely selective, requiring decades of service, flawless records, and mastery of technical leadership. Second Lieutenant. Second Lieutenant is the entry-level commissioned officer rank in the Marine Corps. Newly commissioned officers attend the basic school in Quantico, Virginia, where they receive 6 months of training in leadership, tactics, and combat skills. Upon completion, they are assigned to lead a platoon, which typically consists of 16 to 44 Marines. Their authority is supported by a senior, non-commissioned officer, usually a platoon sergeant. Most second lieutenants remain in this role for about 2 years before becoming eligible for promotion. First Lieutenant. First Lieutenant is the next officer rank, automatically achieved after 24 months of satisfactory service as a second lieutenant. Officers at this rank may continue leading platoons or serve as company executive officers, assisting the company commander in overseeing up to 200 Marines. Their responsibilities expand to include planning operations, supervising training, and managing administrative functions. Promotion is contingent on conduct, leadership performance, and professional development. Captain. Captain is a company-grade officer rank, usually responsible for commanding a company of 62 to 190 Marines. Captains direct tactical operations, manage training schedules, and oversee the welfare of their unit. They also mentor junior officers and act as staff officers at the battalion level. To progress further, captains must attend advanced schooling and may later assume roles such as company commander, battalion staff officer, or instructor at combat schools. Promotion to captain depends on demonstrated leadership ability, operational experience, and successful command performance. Major. Major is the 4th officer rank and the entry level of field grade officers. Majors often serve as battalion executive officers, weapons company commanders, or regimental staff officers. Their responsibilities include managing large-scale operations, planning missions, and supervising subordinate officers. Unlike earlier automatic promotions, advancement to major is competitive, with approximately 80% of captains selected. Eligible officers usually have between 9 and 11 years of service, and promotion requires selection by a board evaluating operational leadership and career performance. Lieutenant Colonel. Lieutenant Colonel is the 5th officer rank, typically commanding battalion or squadron-sized units of 300 to 1,200 Marines. They may also serve as executive officers for regiments, aviation groups, or expeditionary units. In higher staff positions, lieutenant colonels act as chiefs of staff within Marine expeditionary brigades, Marine aircraft wings, or logistics groups. Officers usually reach this rank after 16 to 22 years of service. Colonel. Colonel is the 6th officer rank, responsible for commanding regiments, large installations, or Marine Corps bases. Colonels may also serve as brigade executive officers or senior staff officers at the division level. Their duties combine high-level leadership with long-range planning and coordination of operations across multiple battalions. Colonels are often selected for advanced military education at institutions such as the Marine Corps War College or the Army War College, preparing them for general officer roles. Brigadier General. Brigadier General is the 1st general officer rank in the Marine Corps and carries 1 star. Officers promoted to this level usually serve as deputy commanders of divisions or as commanders of Marine Expeditionary Brigades, which may consist of up to 20,000 Marines. Promotion to Brigadier General is highly selective. Candidates are screened by a promotion board of senior generals, nominated by the President and confirmed by the Senate. By law, the Marine Corps is limited to a small number of general officers on active duty at any given time, making this rank rare. Major General. Major General is a 2-star general officer rank. Officers at this level may serve as division commanders or as senior staff officers at combatant commands. Promotion follows the same process as for Brigadier General, requiring board selection, nomination by the President, and Senate confirmation. Major Generals are required to retire after 5 years in grade or 35 years of service unless further promoted. This rank reflects permanent high-level leadership responsibilities within the Marine Corps and Joint Force structures. Lieutenant General. Lieutenant General is a 3-star rank and one of the highest in the Marine Corps. Officers at this level typically command Marine Expeditionary Forces consisting of 20,000 to 45,000 Marines or serve in senior staff positions at the Pentagon and combatant commands. Promotion is tied to specific positions and remains temporary, expiring when the officer leaves the billet. Nomination by the President and Senate confirmation are required. Officers must retire after 38 years of service unless further promoted or reappointed. General. General is the highest rank in the United States Marine Corps, designated by 4 stars. By law, only 2 active duty Marines may hold this rank at any given time, the Commandant of the Marine Corps and the Assistant Commandant. This is a temporary rank that expires when the officer's term ends. Officers are nominated by the President, reviewed by the Secretary of Defense and Service Leadership, and confirmed by the Senate. The standard tour for a 4-star general is 4 years. Generals must retire after 40 years of service or at age 64, whichever comes first. Seaman Recruit. Seaman Recruit is the Navy's entry-level enlisted rank with no visible insignia. Candidates must meet age, education, aptitude, citizenship, and medical standards before reporting to Recruit Training Command at Great Lakes, Illinois. Boot camp lasts 7 to 10 weeks and covers seamanship, firefighting, watchstanding, discipline, and physical readiness. Recruits practice line handling, knot tying, and shipboard safety, learning damage control, and chemical biological defense. They are grouped into communities: seamen for deck and administration, airmen for aviation, firemen for engineering, construction man for Seabees, and hospitalman for medical fields. Daily duties include cleaning compartments, inspections, and supervised watches. Successful graduates advance automatically to Seaman Apprentice and begin professional assignments. Seaman Apprentice. Seaman Apprentice marks completion of recruit training and the start of fleet duties. Dress uniforms display 2 diagonal stripes, color-coded by community: white or blue for deck, red for engineering, green for aviation, and light blue for construction. Apprentices conduct preservation, painting, and basic maintenance under petty officer supervision. Aviation apprentices assist on flight decks. Firemen learn propulsion operations. Construction men handle field construction. Hospitalman apprentices support medical tasks. Each sailor maintains qualification records and begins training toward a rating, the Navy's occupational specialty. Undesignated apprentices rotate through divisions to find a career path. Designated strikers focus on one field. Advancement to seaman requires about a year of satisfactory conduct, training completion, and command recommendation. Seaman. Seaman is the final non-rated apprenticeship rank and a step toward technical specialization. The insignia consists of 3 diagonal stripes in community colors. Seamen perform operational duties with limited supervision, stand watches as helmsman, lookout, or phone talker, and assist in small boat handling, line handling, and deck maintenance. Aviation seamen maintain aircraft systems. Firemen work on propulsion and auxiliary equipment. Construction men build and repair facilities. They complete personnel qualification standards and may earn warfare pins such as surface, aviation, or submarine warfare specialist. Advancement to Petty Officer 3rd Class requires technical training, command endorsement, and passing the Navy-wide exam. Seamen lead small maintenance teams and train new sailors, demonstrating readiness for non-commissioned officer status. Petty Officer 3rd Class. Petty Officer 3rd Class is the first non-commissioned officer grade and entry to rated service. The insignia shows a perched eagle above a specialty mark and 1 chevron. Advancement combines written examination, performance evaluations, and command recommendation. 3rd Class Petty Officers maintain and operate technical equipment, supervise small teams, and train apprentices. They enforce safety procedures, maintain logs, and manage watch sections. Common ratings include electronics technician, machinist's mate, bosun's mate, and hospital corpsman. Pay grade E4 sailors stand supervisory watches such as Petty Officer of the Watch and ensure adherence to standards. High-year tenure policies limit time at this grade to preserve advancement flow. Sustained professional conduct and proficiency are required for continued service. Petty Officer 2nd Class. Petty Officer 2nd Class represents an experienced technician and leader. The insignia adds a 2nd chevron beneath the eagle and specialty mark. Advancement depends on a composite final multiple score combining exam results, evaluations, awards, and service time. Pay grade E5 sailors manage maintenance teams, verify preventive maintenance completion, and coordinate supply and repair. At sea, they lead machinery divisions or repair lockers. In aviation, they supervise line crews. Collateral duties include safety, petty officer, training representative, or career counselor. They mentor junior sailors and maintain high professional standards. After 12 years of honorable service, chevrons and service stripes change from red to gold, symbolizing sustained good conduct and reliable leadership within the enlisted ranks. Petty Officer 1st Class. Petty Officer 1st Class is the senior enlisted technical grade before Chief. The insignia features 3 red chevrons beneath the specialty mark and eagle. 1st Class Petty Officers, often called leading petty officers, supervise divisions or work centers, manage maintenance schedules, and oversee training programs. They maintain documentation, enforce safety and discipline, and coordinate with officers on readiness. Advancement to Chief Petty Officer requires a minimum time in grade, superior evaluations, leadership performance, and selection by a central advancement board. 1st Class Petty Officers qualify for advanced watches, plan inspections, and mentor sailors seeking warfare qualifications. Their performance directly influences divisional efficiency, making them key to daily shipboard and squadron operations. Chief Petty Officer. Chief Petty Officer. Chief Petty Officer is the first senior enlisted rank and a major professional milestone. The insignia shows a perched eagle above the specialty mark, 3 gold chevrons, and a rocker. Khaki uniforms display a gold fouled anchor with United States Navy. Selection requires eligibility testing, evaluations, and approval by a board of Master Chiefs assessing leadership and technical impact. Newly selected chiefs complete a formal initiation and pinning process emphasizing mentorship, tradition, and responsibility. Chiefs lead divisions, coordinate maintenance, manage training, and maintain material readiness. They represent enlisted interests to officers, ensuring efficient execution of missions. Chiefs wear khaki uniforms, operate from separate quarters afloat, and serve as the bridge between enlisted crews and command leadership. Senior Chief Petty Officer. Senior Chief Petty Officer is the second tier of senior enlisted leadership. The insignia adds a single silver star above the eagle and rocker. Khaki devices display 1 star above the anchor. Selection is through a centralized board evaluating sustained superior performance and command influence. Senior chiefs act as department leading chiefs, overseeing multiple divisions, managing large maintenance programs, and advising department heads. They coordinate readiness, training, and quality assurance while mentoring newly promoted chiefs. Senior chiefs frequently serve as command senior enlisted leaders for smaller units, ensuring enlisted feedback reaches officers. Their broad experience provides stability across deployments and operations, maintaining discipline and continuity throughout command organizations. Master Chief Petty Officer. Master Chief Petty Officer is the Navy's highest enlisted pay grade and represents the top 1% of enlisted sailors. The insignia features 2 silver stars above the eagle and rocker. Khaki devices show 2 stars above the anchor. Selection is board determined based on exceptional leadership and technical mastery. Master Chiefs serve as senior enlisted advisors on large ships, aviation squadrons, and shore installations. They oversee chiefs and senior chiefs, ensure compliance with standards, and counsel commanding officers on morale, training, and retention. Many act as inspectors during fleet readiness evaluations or as Type Command advisors. Their responsibilities influence policy and readiness across entire warfare communities and fleet commands. Command Master Chief Petty Officer. Command Master Chief Petty Officer is a positional title held by the senior enlisted leader of a command. The insignia remains that of a Master Chief with a silver star in a wreath denoting the billet. The Command Master Chief Petty Officer advises the commanding and executive officers on morale, welfare, discipline, and training matters. Duties include climate assessments, recognition programs, mentoring initiatives, and oversight of the Chief's mess. On submarines, the equivalent billet is Chief of the Boat. At smaller units, pay grade E8 sailors may serve as Command Senior Chief Petty Officer until promotion. The Command Master Chief Petty Officer forms part of the command triad and ensures open communication between leadership and enlisted personnel, maintaining standards and crew cohesion. Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy. The Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy is the Navy's highest enlisted position. The insignia adds a third star above the eagle. Khaki devices carry 3 stars above the anchor. The Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy serves as senior enlisted advisor to the Chief of Naval Operations and the Chief of Naval Personnel. Responsibilities include advising on training, welfare, pay, benefits, and family readiness programs. The Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy travels fleet-wide, visiting commands and representing enlisted interests. The position also participates in Department of Defense councils and congressional testimony when directed. Appointed by the Chief of Naval Operations for a 2 to 4 year term, the Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy ensures enlisted perspectives, shape Navy policies and programs. Warrant Officer 1. Warrant Officer 1 is the Navy's entry warrant grade, reinstated in 2018 for cyber warfare specialists. The insignia is a gold bar with 2 horizontal blue breaks. Appointment is by warrant from the Secretary of the Navy, drawn from senior enlisted personnel with significant technical skill and leadership. Chief Warrant Officer 1 serve in advanced technical billets such as network defense and digital forensics, configuring and safeguarding Navy systems. They advise commanders on cybersecurity operations and incident response. Warrant Officer 1s complete the Warrant Officer Indoctrination course, followed by specialized technical instruction. They act as liaisons between enlisted technicians and commissioned officers, ensuring expert-level technical execution within Navy information and communications networks. Chief Warrant Officer 2. Chief Warrant Officer 2 is the first commissioned warrant grade, symbolized by a gold bar with 3 blue breaks. Candidates are selected through a competitive board evaluating performance and qualifications. Chief Warrant Officer 2s serve in surface, submarine, aviation, construction, and information warfare communities. Duties include propulsion operation, ordnance handling, avionics calibration, and communications maintenance. They often act as division officers, providing specialized knowledge and bridging enlisted and commissioned leadership. Advancement requires time in grade, superior evaluations, and professional development. Chief Warrant Officer 2s represent the technical authority within their fields, supporting mission readiness across the fleet. Chief Warrant Officer 3. Chief Warrant Officer 3 represents advanced technical leadership. The insignia is a silver bar with 2 blue breaks. Selection requires outstanding evaluations, proven leadership, and broad operational experience. Chief Warrant Officer 3s serve as senior technical advisors to commanding officers and department heads, overseeing complex modernization and maintenance projects. They validate technical directives, inspect major systems, and coordinate with shipyards and readiness centers. Many also instruct at advanced training schools, mentoring future technicians and warrant officers. With around 16 years of service, they provide high-level expertise ensuring systems function safely and efficiently across all warfare environments, contributing directly to operational success and fleet reliability. Chief Warrant Officer 4. Chief Warrant Officer 4 signifies master-level technical authority and leadership. The insignia displays a silver bar with 3 blue breaks. Advancement is through a board process evaluating sustained superior performance and command impact. Chief Warrant Officer 4s lead large technical departments handling propulsion, combat systems, and aviation maintenance programs. They establish procedures, conduct engineering analyses, and act as advisors to fleet and type commanders. They mentor junior warrants, manage budgets, and enforce standardization across commands. Chief Warrant Officer 4's expertise directly influences United States Navy-wide maintenance policy and fleet technical readiness throughout their specialty communities. Chief Warrant Officer 5. Chief Warrant Officer 5 is the highest warrant grade and represents the pinnacle of technical expertise. The insignia is a silver bar with one broad blue stripe. Chief Warrant Officer 5s serve as senior advisors at fleet, type commander, and systems command levels. They guide modernization programs, assess new technologies, and advise flag officers on doctrine, logistics, and interoperability. They establish training standards for their communities, mentor junior warrants, and participate in policy development for technical career progression. With over 25 years of service, Chief Warrant Officer 5s are recognized as the Navy's foremost subject matter experts, ensuring safe, efficient, and innovative use of critical systems across all warfare domains. Ensign. Ensign is the entry commissioned officer rank indicated by a single gold bar. Officers are commissioned through the Naval Academy, Naval Reserve Officers Training Corps, Officer Candidate School, or direct commissions for professional fields. Each receives a designator code identifying their community, unrestricted line for command qualified officers, restricted line for technical specialists, and staff corps for professional fields such as medical, legal, or supply. Ensigns complete training pipelines, surface warfare, submarine nuclear power, or flight training, and report to ships, squadrons, or installations as division officers. They oversee personnel, equipment, and daily operations under department head supervision. Promotion to lieutenant junior grade follows approximately 2 years of satisfactory service and completion of initial warfare qualifications. Lieutenant junior grade wears one silver bar and serves as an intermediate junior officer rank. Promotion from ensign is governed by statutory timelines after qualification and favorable evaluations. Lieutenant junior grades continue as division officers, manage maintenance and training programs, and stand watches such as officer of the deck or squadron duty officer. They assist department heads with planning, budgeting, and readiness reporting. Lieutenant junior grades expand their operational understanding of ship, squadron, or submarine systems and begin managing larger teams. Their evaluations emphasize leadership growth, professional knowledge, and technical competence. After about 2 years of effective service, most lieutenant junior grades advance to lieutenant following community-specific qualification milestones. Lieutenant, signified by 2 connected silver bars, is a mid-grade officer rank. Lieutenants are senior division officers on larger commands and department heads on smaller vessels, submarines, or aviation units. They manage maintenance and logistics, safety, and personnel training, overseeing multiple divisions. Lieutenants qualify for key operational watches such as officer of the deck, tactical action officer, or engineering duty officer. Aviation lieutenants act as aircraft commanders or flight leads, while submariners manage weapons or engineering divisions. They are expected to lead independently and handle significant operational responsibility. Promotion to lieutenant commander requires strong evaluations, warfare qualification, and completion of required professional military education. Lieutenant commander, represented by a gold oak leaf, is the first fully competitive officer promotion. Selection is by statutory board evaluating leadership, qualifications, and professional development. Lieutenant commanders serve as department heads on destroyers, cruisers, and amphibious ships, as executive officers on smaller craft, or as major department heads in aviation squadrons. Submarine officers at this level often serve as engineer officers or weapons officers. They are responsible for personnel development, safety, and material readiness. This rank represents transition from tactical leadership to operational management, preparing officers for potential command at sea. Superior performance in these billets determines future promotion eligibility. Commander, marked by a silver oak leaf, commands destroyers, submarines, aviation squadrons, and SEAL teams. They also serve as executive officers on carriers or large amphibious ships and as chiefs of staff for strike groups. Commanders oversee training, morale, discipline, and combat readiness. Selection requires outstanding performance as a lieutenant commander and successful completion of department head tours. Command tours typically last 2 years and represent the highest level of tactical command before entering the flag officer ranks. Commanders demonstrate advanced leadership, administrative control, and ability to manage complex operations under pressure. Their performance determines suitability for further promotion to captain or flag command. Captain is denoted by a silver eagle and is equivalent to an army colonel. Captains command major warships, such as cruisers and aircraft carriers, carrier air wings, submarine squadrons, and special warfare groups. Ashore, they lead air stations, training commands, and logistics centers. Captains also serve as program managers and senior staff officers. Selection requires prior successful command and exemplary service. All promotions to captain and higher require presidential nomination and Senate confirmation. Captains manage thousands of personnel, multi-million-dollar budgets, and complex operations, ensuring full readiness of their commands. They represent the final rank before selection to flag officer. Rear Admiral, lower half. Rear Admiral, lower half, is the Navy's one-star flag officer rank, symbolized by a single silver star. Officers are nominated by the President, confirmed by the Senate, and selected from proven captains with exceptional leadership records. Rear Admirals lower half command destroyer, submarine or amphibious squadrons, type wings, and major shore installations. They serve as deputy commanders of carrier or expeditionary strike groups and lead fleet training organizations. Rear Admirals lower half oversee large budgets, coordinate regional operations, and implement personnel policies. Their responsibilities extend across multiple ships and units, representing the transition from command-level leadership to strategic fleet management within the Navy hierarchy. Rear Admiral upper half is a 2-star flag officer rank displayed as 2 silver stars. Rear Admirals upper half command carrier, strike groups, numbered task forces, and warfare development centers. They oversee operations across large theaters and direct modernization and readiness programs. Rear Admirals upper half also lead major regional commands and senior staff positions in Washington. Promotion from 1-star to 2-star rank is based on superior performance in prior flag billets and limited by statutory quotas. They guide strategy, integrate emerging technologies, and mentor captains preparing for command. Their leadership shapes the Navy's operational direction and long-range capability development across global areas of responsibility. Vice Admiral is a 3-star flag officer rank symbolized by 3 silver stars. Vice Admirals command numbered fleets such as 3rd, 5th, and 7th Fleet, serve as deputy chiefs of naval operations, and lead major joint commands. They manage maritime operations across multiple regions, balancing strategic planning with current operations. Appointments are tied to specific billets authorized by law and require presidential nomination and Senate confirmation. Vice Admirals oversee fleet modernization, resource allocation, and coordination with allied navies. They ensure integration of sea, air, and cyber capabilities to maintain maritime dominance and global readiness for sustained naval operations worldwide. Admiral is the Navy's 4-star rank and the highest peacetime grade. The insignia displays 4 silver stars. Admirals hold positions including Chief of Naval Operations, Vice Chief of Naval Operations, Commander United States Pacific Fleet, and Commander United States Fleet Forces Command. They direct global naval strategy, operations, and resource management, advising the Secretary of the Navy, Secretary of Defense, and President. Appointments are restricted by law and require presidential nomination and Senate confirmation. Admirals coordinate fleet deployments, oversee budgets, and manage personnel policies at the highest level. Their leadership ensures the Navy remains prepared to project power and defend national interests worldwide. Fleet Admiral is a 5-star wartime rank represented by 5 silver stars in a pentagon pattern. Created in World War II to match Allied 5-star equivalents, it has been held only by William D. Leahy, Ernest J. King, Chester W. Nimitz, and William F. Halsey, Jr. The Fleet Admiral commands all naval forces during major global conflicts and holds lifetime active duty status. The rank remains authorized by Congress, but inactive in peacetime. It would be reinstated only during a large-scale war requiring unified maritime command authority at the highest strategic level, symbolizing absolute seniority within the United States Navy. Airman Basic represents the absolute starting point for enlisted personnel in the Air Force. This rank carries no insignia. The uniform sleeve remains completely blank. Individuals spend approximately 8 weeks in basic military training at Joint Base San Antonio, Lackland in Texas, transitioning from civilian to military life. The training covers fundamental military customs, physical conditioning, weapons familiarization, and Air Force core values. Airman Basics learn drill movements, proper saluting procedures, uniform standards, rank structure, chain of command, and basic military law under the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Physical training occurs daily with gradually increasing intensity, including fitness assessments, measuring push-ups, sit-ups, and timed runs. Most automatically advance to airman upon graduation. Airman is the second enlisted rank marked by a single chevron stripe. Personnel receive this rank upon graduating from basic military training, though some qualify for immediate promotion based on prior achievements, completing at least 2 years of junior ROTC, earning Eagle Scout rank, receiving the Girl Scouts Gold Award, or accumulating at least 20 semester hours of college credit. After graduation, airmen proceed to technical training schools where they learn their assigned Air Force specialty code. Training length varies dramatically. Some courses last weeks, while others extend beyond a year. Aircraft maintenance specialists train for 6 months, while linguists spend up to 2 years in school. During technical training, airmen study classroom theory and hands-on practical application, learning equipment operation, maintenance procedures, safety protocols, and mission-specific tasks. The standard time at this rank is 6 months for those who enlisted for at least 4 years. Airman First Class wears 2 chevron stripes and signifies completion of initial technical training. Promotion typically occurs after 10 months as an airman, though accelerated advancement is available for those who completed junior ROTC, earned the Billy Mitchell Award, or accumulated 45 college credits. At this rank, personnel work under direct supervision while developing specialty proficiency. They perform inspections, repairs, operate equipment, and troubleshoot systems. Performance expectations increase substantially, maintaining higher standards in technical work and military bearing while participating in additional duties beyond their primary job. Physical fitness testing occurs annually, measuring cardiovascular endurance, muscular strength, and body composition. Time requirement for advancement to senior airman is 36 months total service, with 20 months at Airman First Class or 28 months at this rank. Senior Airman wears 3 chevron stripes and represents the highest enlisted rank before entering the non-commissioned officer tier. An accelerated program called Below the Zone allows up to 15% of exceptional airmen first class to promote 6 months early through competitive selection. Senior airmen achieve full proficiency with a 5-level skill designation, performing most tasks without supervision. They execute complex technical procedures, operate advanced equipment, and troubleshoot problems independently. Leadership development begins at this rank, mentoring junior personnel, teaching procedures, and overseeing small work teams. Senior airmen must complete the 6-week Airman Leadership School before promoting to Staff Sergeant, covering leadership principles, communication skills, resource management, and Air Force history. Staff Sergeant marks the first non-commissioned officer rank identified by 4 chevron stripes with 1 rocker underneath. Promotion requires 3 years total service, 6 months as senior airman, a 5-level skill designation, Airman Leadership School completion, and competitive selection through the weighted airman promotion system. This system evaluates performance reports, decorations, specialty knowledge tests, and time in service. Staff sergeants assume direct supervisory responsibility. They write performance reports documenting work quality and leadership potential, conduct counseling sessions, and address performance issues. Technical expertise shifts toward quality control, reviewing work completed by junior airmen and ensuring procedure compliance. Work scheduling becomes primary, assigning tasks, balancing workloads, and ensuring sections meet mission requirements. Training management falls under their purview, and disciplinary authority increases to enforce standards for appearance, conduct, and work performance. Technical Sergeant displays 5 chevron stripes with 2 rockers. The 7-level craftsman designation signifies expertise beyond basic proficiency, understanding theory behind procedures, troubleshooting complex problems, and specializing in difficult aspects of their field. Average time to reach Technical Sergeant is approximately 12 years. Technical Sergeants supervise multiple staff sergeants and their teams, overseeing entire sections. In aircraft maintenance, they might manage all electrical systems specialists on a flight line. Resource management becomes central, controlling section budgets, ordering parts and supplies, tracking expenditures, and justifying purchases. Quality assurance programs fall under their management, developing inspection checklists and identifying systemic issues. They serve as technical experts for their squadron, providing solutions to complex problems. Master Sergeant displays 5 chevron stripes with 3 rockers, marking entry into the senior non-commissioned officer tier. Promotion is highly competitive with no guaranteed timeline. A central board reviews complete career records, examining performance reports, leadership impact, breadth of experience, and professional military education completion. Master Sergeants serve as flight chiefs, section chiefs, or squadron superintendents. A flight contains multiple sections, potentially encompassing 50 to 200 personnel. Strategic planning becomes primary, developing long-term training plans, forecasting manning requirements, and aligning flight capabilities with squadron objectives. They participate in planning meetings with officers, providing enlisted perspectives on feasibility and resource needs. Personnel development takes broader scope, mentoring multiple layers of leadership while maintaining awareness of junior airman progression. First Sergeant is not a separate rank but a special duty assignment for Master Sergeants, Senior Master Sergeants, or Chief Master Sergeants. The position is identified by a distinctive diamond insignia, replacing the standard star emblem in rank chevrons. First Sergeants serve as primary enlisted advisor to squadron commanders on all matters affecting enlisted personnel. They focus exclusively on morale, welfare, discipline, and professional development. Selection is rigorous. Candidates undergo interviews demonstrating exceptional leadership ability and genuine commitment to people. Once selected, they attend First Sergeant Academy covering counseling techniques, military justice, and crisis intervention. Daily responsibilities center on direct interaction, conducting one-on-one counseling addressing personal problems, financial difficulties, family issues, or career concerns. Disciplinary matters consume considerable time investigating misconduct allegations and recommending appropriate action. First Sergeants monitor unit morale constantly, visiting work centers unannounced and identifying problems before escalation. Senior Master Sergeant displays 5 chevron stripes with 4 rockers. Federal law limits this rank to just 2.5% of total active duty enlisted force. Promotion requires central board evaluation reviewing leadership impact across multiple assignments, breadth of experience, and demonstrated potential for higher responsibility. Fewer than 10% of eligible Master Sergeants are selected annually. Senior Master Sergeants serve as operational leaders responsible for mission execution across large organizations. They hold positions such as flight superintendent or group-level functional managers overseeing specialty areas across several squadrons. Mission planning involves coordinating resources across organizational boundaries, balancing competing priorities, and allocating scarce resources strategically. They mentor commissioned officers, particularly junior captains and majors, providing operational reality checks during planning sessions. Chief Master Sergeant displays 5 chevron stripes with 5 rockers and represents the highest enlisted rank. Federal law limits this to just 1.25% of total enlisted force. Selection often requires unanimous board approval, with candidates typically possessing graduate degrees and exceptional communication skills. Chief Master Sergeants serve as senior enlisted leaders at group, wing, or major command levels, advising colonels and general officers. Strategic influence defines this rank, shaping policy at highest organizational levels and participating in command staff meetings, determining operational plans and resource allocation. Advocacy for enlisted force becomes paramount, identifying systemic issues affecting quality of life, career development, or operational effectiveness with data-driven recommendations. Command Chief Master Sergeant represents both a rank designation and leadership position created in November 1998. Command Chiefs serve as senior enlisted advisors to commanders at wing, numbered air force, and major command levels, making them the highest-ranking enlisted member within their organization. Selection for Command Chief is separate from promotion to Chief Master Sergeant. Primary responsibility is advising commanders on all matters affecting enlisted force, providing daily counsel on morale trends, training effectiveness, and discipline issues. Mission readiness assessment occupies significant time. They develop and implement programs enhancing force readiness and quality of life. Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force represents the highest enlisted position in the entire service, holding a special pay grade above standard Chief Master Sergeant rank. The Air Force Chief of Staff personally selects this individual from among serving Chief Master Sergeants, considering career breadth, leadership philosophy, and ability to represent nearly 260,000 enlisted airmen. Primary function is advocating for the entire enlisted corps at highest levels of Air Force and Department of Defense leadership. This individual attends senior staff meetings, briefs general officers, speaks directly with Congress, and influences decisions shaping future force. Enlisted force development represents core responsibility, reviewing and influencing promotion systems, professional military education curriculum, and assignment policies. The Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force travels extensively visiting bases worldwide, providing unfiltered feedback on living conditions and operational challenges. Second Lieutenant represents the lowest commissioned officer rank, marked by a single gold bar. This serves as the entry point for newly commissioned officers completing one of 4 commissioning pathways: the United States Air Force Academy, Reserve Officer Training Corps programs, Officer Training School, or direct commissioning for professionals in specialized fields. Second lieutenants entering operational career fields immediately begin extensive training. Pilot candidates attend year-long undergraduate pilot training programs. Combat systems officers train approximately 1 year in navigation and weapon systems. Non-rated officers in intelligence, logistics, cyber operations, or security forces attend shorter technical training courses specific to their specialty. Second lieutenants in first assignments typically serve as flight commanders or assistant flight commanders. Leadership responsibility focuses on learning rather than independent command, working under direct supervision of captains, majors, and senior non-commissioned officers. Rank duration is fixed at 24 months. Second lieutenants automatically promote to first lieutenant after 2 years. First lieutenant is marked by a single silver bar. Promotion occurs automatically after 24 months of commissioned service. Responsibilities differ minimally from second lieutenants in most career fields. The rank primarily indicates additional experience rather than significant role changes. In flying units, first lieutenants continue building flight hours and tactical proficiency, working toward instructor pilot or flight lead qualifications. Professional development intensifies, completing squadron officer school covering leadership theory, communication skills, and national security strategy. First lieutenants also pursue advanced training in their specialties. Rank typically lasts 2 years, with promotion to captain occurring automatically at the 4-year point. Captain is marked by 2 silver bars. Promotion occurs automatically after 4 years of total commissioned service, making captain the highest company grade officer rank. Captains are expected to be seasoned leaders with substantial operational experience. In flying squadrons, captains typically serve as experienced flight commanders leading teams and planning missions. Senior captains often hold instructor pilot qualifications, training new pilots and evaluating their performance. Non-flying captains frequently command flights containing 50 to 100 personnel. Administrative responsibilities increase significantly, writing performance reports, managing flight budgets, and coordinating with other flight commanders. Professional development continues with pursuit of graduate education, with advanced degrees becoming increasingly important for competitive promotion to major. Major is marked by a gold oak leaf and represents the first field grade officer rank. Unlike previous promotions, advancement to major is competitive. Promotion boards examine performance reports spanning officers' entire careers. Selection rates typically range from 70 to 85%. Majors shift from direct flight leadership to staff and administrative roles at squadron, group, and wing levels. In flying squadrons, majors often serve as assistant directors of operations, helping coordinate all flight activities. Group and wing-level staff positions consume many major assignments, working in operations plans, standardization and evaluation, or safety offices. Administrative and planning work dominates responsibilities, drafting operational plans, preparing briefings, and managing programs affecting multiple squadrons. Majors must complete Air Command and Staff College covering operational art, joint warfighting, and strategic thinking. Lieutenant Colonel is marked by a silver oak leaf. Selection typically occurs after approximately 16 years of commissioned service. Selection rates generally range from 70 to 80% of eligible majors. Lieutenant colonels typically serve as squadron commanders in operations, maintenance, mission support, or medical groups. A squadron represents a significant organization containing 200 to 500 personnel. Squadron command carries full responsibility for mission accomplishment, personnel welfare, discipline, training, and resource management. Before assuming squadron command, lieutenant colonels often serve as directors of operations in flying squadrons, managing all flight operations and coordinating training. They develop strategic thinking skills essential for senior leadership, considering second and third order effects of decisions and developing long-range plans. Colonel is marked by a silver eagle and represents the highest field-grade officer rank. Promotion to colonel is extremely competitive. Selection rates typically fall between 30 and 50% of eligible lieutenant colonels. By law, colonels must have at least 22 years of commissioned service. Wing command represents the primary duty for most colonels. A wing contains 1,000 to 4,000 personnel organized into multiple groups, typically operations, maintenance, mission support, and medical. Wing commanders manage budgets exceeding hundreds of millions of dollars and oversee facilities worth billions. They interact regularly with general officers, brief members of Congress, and coordinate with local civilian leadership. Vice-wing commanders serve as the wing commander's primary deputy, handling internal wing operations. Colonels fill critical staff positions at Major Command Headquarters, the Pentagon, and Joint Commands. Brigadier General is marked by a single silver star and represents the first general officer rank. Selection is extraordinarily competitive. Typically, only 1 to 2% of eligible colonels ever pin on a general officer star. The Secretary of the Air Force and Air Force Chief of Staff identify candidates who have demonstrated exceptional strategic thinking and operational excellence. The Secretary of Defense reviews nominations before forwarding them to the President, who submits names to the Senate for confirmation. Brigadier Generals typically command large wings or hold key staff positions at Major Command Headquarters. They manage relationships with local communities, coordinate with other service branches, and represent the Air Force in regional forums. Major command staff positions employ numerous brigadier generals as directors of operations, logistics, or strategic plans. Pentagon assignments place them in senior positions on the air staff. Joint assignments are common, serving on combatant commander staffs worldwide. Major General is marked by 2 silver stars. Federal law restricts the number of officers holding more than 2 stars. No more than 25% of active duty general officers may hold ranks above Major General. Major Generals typically command numbered air forces, operational organizations consisting of multiple wings assigned specific geographic regions or functional missions. A numbered air force might control 10,000 to 30,000 personnel spread across several installations. Some have geographic responsibility, like 7th Air Force in Korea, while others have functional missions. Major Generals also serve as Joint Force Air Component Commanders, coordinating all air assets from multiple services during operations. Major command staff positions employ Major Generals as deputy commanders for operations, logistics, or strategic plans. Lieutenant General is marked by 3 silver stars. Promotion requires approval at the highest levels of government. The Secretary of Defense reviews each nomination carefully before forwarding recommendations to the President. The Senate Armed Services Committee conducts hearings and votes on confirmation. Lieutenant generals typically command large numbered air forces containing multiple wings and tens of thousands of personnel. Examples include 12th Air Force or 9th Air Force. Some lieutenant generals command major commands, organizational structures reporting directly to Headquarters Air Force. Major command deputy commander positions employ lieutenant generals as the second highest officer in commands containing hundreds of thousands of personnel. Pentagon assignments place them in the most senior air staff positions. General is marked by 4 silver stars and represents the highest permanent rank during peacetime. This rank is tied to specific statutory positions. Officers hold the 4-star rank only while serving in designated billets. The President nominates officers with advice from the Secretary of Defense. The Senate Armed Services Committee conducts confirmation hearings where nominees testify publicly. The Chief of Staff of the Air Force holds 4 stars and serves as the senior uniformed officer in the service. This position serves on the Joint Chiefs of Staff, advising the President and Secretary of Defense on military matters. The Vice Chief of Staff manages internal Air Force operations. Major command commanders hold 4 stars when leading the largest commands like Air Combat Command or Air Mobility Command. Combatant command positions place Air Force generals in 4-star joint billets like U.S. Transportation Command. General of the Air Force is a 5-star rank created during World War II. This rank has been held by only one individual in history and is currently considered inactive, reserved exclusively for wartime use. General Henry H. Arnold received this 5-star rank. On December 21, 1944, while the Air Force was still part of the U.S. Army, Arnold was promoted to General of the Army. He commanded all Army Air Forces during World War II. When the Air Force became independent on September 18, 1947, Arnold's rank required clarification. On May 7, 1949, Congress officially redesignated Arnold's rank as General of the Air Force, making him the only person in American military history to hold 5-star ranks in 2 different services. 5-star ranks were created during World War II to provide American officers with equivalent status to their British and Soviet counterparts. No officer has been promoted to General of the Air Force while on active duty. The Air Force considers it an active rank that could theoretically be awarded again, but only during a major war requiring mobilization on the scale of World War II. Since 1981, Congress has restricted the creation of new 5-star positions, though existing law technically still permits them under extraordinary circumstances. Delta Force, 1st Special Forces Operational Detachment Delta. Delta Force is the United States Army's most elite and secretive counter-terrorism unit. It operates under the Joint Special Operations Command and is considered a Tier 1 force. Its primary missions include hostage rescue, high-value target capture or elimination, covert intelligence gathering, and counter-terrorism operations in areas inaccessible to regular forces. Operators are extensively trained in close-quarters battle, advanced marksmanship, explosive breaching, infiltration techniques, and hand-to-hand combat. They are capable of securing aircraft, ships, trains, and other vehicles under hostile conditions. Modelled after the British Special Air Service, Delta Force is based at Fort Liberty, North Carolina, and is organized into 4 main operational squadrons, A, B, C, and D. Each squadron consists of 3 troops, 1 dedicated to reconnaissance and sniping, and 2 designed for direct assault missions. New members typically enter the assault troops before advancing to specialized roles. Highly skilled operatives may transition to the elite Black Squadron, which handles the most sensitive and classified missions. Delta also maintains its own covert aviation support unit that operates small helicopters, including aircraft disguised as civilian models, for rapid insertion, extraction, and clandestine transport. U.S. Army Special Forces, Green Berets. The U.S. Army Special Forces, known as the Green Berets, are specialized in unconventional warfare and operate under the U.S. Army Special Operations Command. They are often referred to as quiet professionals due to their low-profile missions. Core tasks include training and advising allied foreign forces, direct action raids, special reconnaissance, counter-terrorism, counter-proliferation of weapons of mass destruction, and information operations. Green Berets are organized into special forces groups, each responsible for specific geographic regions. First group, Pacific. Third group, Sub-Saharan Africa. Fifth group, Middle East, Persian Gulf, Central Asia, and Horn of Africa. Seventh group, Latin America, Central America, and Caribbean, and 10th group, Europe. The National Guard maintains the 19th and 20th groups, which focus on Southeast Asia and Latin America respectively. Each group operates through smaller detachments capable of independent missions in remote or hostile environments. 75th Ranger Regiment. The 75th Ranger Regiment is a premier light infantry force specializing in rapid, high-intensity missions. Primary responsibilities include airborne and helicopter assaults, direct raids, airfield seizures, personnel or equipment recovery, and augmenting other special operations units. Rangers frequently operate in support of Delta Force, providing perimeter security, quick reaction forces, or assault elements for larger missions. The regiment consists of the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Ranger Battalions, each with roughly 600 soldiers, and the Regimental Special Troops Battalion, which provides reconnaissance, intelligence, communications, and selection course administration. 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, Night Stalkers. The 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, also known as the Night Stalkers, is the Army's premier aviation unit for special operations. They specialize in low-level, nighttime, and precision helicopter missions. Their primary role is to insert, extract, and support special operations forces in high-threat areas. They operate specialized helicopters such as the MH-60 Black Hawk, MH-6 Little Bird, and MH-47 Chinook, equipped for precision navigation and attack capabilities. Night Stalkers also conduct aerial reconnaissance and direct fire missions. Intelligence Support Activity, ISA. The Intelligence Support Activity, often referred to as the ISA, is one of the most secretive U.S. Army units. It was created after the failed 1980 attempt to rescue American hostages in Iran, with the purpose of providing highly specialized intelligence support to Special Operations Forces. The unit operates under Joint Special Operations Command and consists of a small team of around 300 personnel. Its primary functions include human intelligence, gathering information through direct human interaction and ground surveillance, and signals intelligence, tracking and intercepting electronic communications such as phone calls, radio transmissions, and data links. The ISA also conducts surveillance to identify safe routes, enemy defenses, and hidden locations. Structurally, it is organized into administration, training, signals intelligence, human intelligence, and direct action elements. Its direct action teams, composed of Delta Force-trained operatives, are capable of executing high-risk combat missions when necessary. Cultural Support Teams, CST. Cultural support teams are made up of specially trained female soldiers who deploy alongside U.S. Army Special Operations Forces. Their mission is to interact with women and adolescents in regions where cultural norms prevent male soldiers from doing so. These teams are trained in cultural awareness, language skills, reconnaissance, survival, and information gathering. By engaging directly with local populations, CSTs gather intelligence, build rapport with communities, and facilitate mission success in environments where traditional male engagement is restricted. 95th Civil Affairs Brigade. The 95th Civil Affairs Brigade operates under the U.S. Army Special Operations Command and specializes in coordinating between military forces and civilian authorities during peace and conflict. Their missions include assessing civilian infrastructure, identifying resources that can support military operations, minimizing disruptions to local populations, and assisting with disaster relief and humanitarian operations. They are also involved in counter-narcotics activities and civil-military information sharing. The brigade consists of a headquarters and multiple airborne battalions, each capable of deploying rapidly to global crisis zones to work with both military and non-military organizations. U.S. Navy SEAL teams. The U.S. Navy Sea, Air, and Land teams known as SEAL teams are the Navy's primary special operations force. They specialize in maritime direct action missions, special reconnaissance, counter-terrorism, and unconventional warfare. SEALs are trained to operate in sea, air, and land environments, conducting missions that range from underwater demolitions to urban combat. The Navy operates multiple active SEAL teams, each composed of several platoons capable of independent deployment. SEAL training, known as Basic Underwater Demolition/SEAL, BUD/S, is considered one of the most physically and mentally demanding programs in the military. SEAL delivery vehicle teams, SDVT. The SEAL delivery vehicle teams are specialized SEAL elements that use submersible vehicles to transport operators underwater to their objectives. These missions often involve infiltration into high-security coastal areas, harbors, or enemy shores. SDVTs use dry deck shelters mounted on submarines and other specialized equipment to insert SEALs discreetly. Operations are typically conducted in support of reconnaissance, sabotage, and direct action missions. Special Warfare Combatant Craft Crewmen, SWCC. The Special Warfare Combatant Craft Crewmen are naval personnel trained to operate and maintain the high-speed boats that support SEAL missions. SWCC teams provide insertion, extraction, and fire support for SEALs in coastal and riverine environments. They are proficient in navigation, heavy weapons, and small boat tactics, often conducting high-speed approaches and evasions in hostile waters. DEVGRU, SEAL Team 6. The Naval Special Warfare Development Group, commonly known as DEVGRU or SEAL Team 6, is the Navy's Tier 1 Special Mission Unit under the Joint Special Operations Command. DEVGRU conducts the most sensitive and classified operations, including counter-terrorism, hostage rescue, and high-value target missions worldwide. It recruits exclusively from experienced SEALs, and members undergo an advanced selection process beyond BUD/S pararescue, PJs. Pararescue specialists, known as PJs, are elite combat rescue operators trained to recover personnel from hostile environments. Their mission includes rescuing downed pilots, wounded service members, and civilians in combat or disaster zones. PJs are trained as paramedics and combat divers capable of parachuting, scuba diving, and mountaineering to reach isolated survivors. Combat Control Teams, CCTS. Combat controllers are trained to establish assault zones and coordinate air support in austere locations. They are qualified air traffic controllers who can operate in combat environments, setting up landing zones, directing airstrikes, and integrating air assets with ground operations. Tactical Air Control Party, TACP. Tactical Air Control Party members work alongside Army and Marine units to coordinate close air support. They are embedded with ground forces calling in precision airstrikes, artillery, and other supporting fires during combat operations. Special Reconnaissance, SR. Special reconnaissance operators replaced the legacy Special Operations weather technicians. They gather advanced meteorological, geospatial, and battlefield intelligence behind enemy lines to support operational planning. 24th Special Tactics Squadron. The 24th Special Tactics Squadron is the Air Force's Tier 1 Special Mission Unit under JSOC. It combines PJs, CCTs, TACPs, and SR operators for highly classified missions, often working alongside Delta Force and DEVGRU in joint operations. Marine Raiders. The Marine Raider Regiment is the Marine Corps' primary special operations force under MARSOC. Raiders conduct direct action, special reconnaissance, foreign internal defense, and counter-terrorism missions. The regiment consists of multiple battalions capable of deploying Marine Special Operations teams worldwide. Marine Special Operations Teams, MSOT. MSOTs are small, highly mobile units within the Raider Regiment. Each team can operate independently for extended periods in remote areas, training partner forces, conducting raids, and performing intelligence-gathering missions. Joint Special Operations Command, JSOC. JSOC oversees the U.S. military's Tier 1 Special Mission Units, including Delta Force, DEVGRU, the 24th Special Tactics Squadron, and intelligence support activity. JSOC coordinates inter-service special operations, joint training, and combined missions. It is responsible for some of the most sensitive military operations globally, often conducted in cooperation with the CIA and other agencies. Coast Guard Deployable Specialized Forces, DSF. The U.S. Coast Guard's Deployable Specialized Forces are elite units trained to respond to maritime security threats, counter-terrorism, and high-risk law enforcement missions. These forces include Maritime Safety and Security Teams, MSST, Maritime Security Response Teams, MSRT, Tactical Law Enforcement Teams, TACLET, Port Security Units, PSU, and the National Strike Force. MSRTs are the Coast Guard's closest equivalent to a counter-terrorism unit, capable of boarding hostile vessels, interdicting piracy, and responding to weapons of mass destruction threats. DSF units operate both domestically and internationally, often in coordination with Navy and Joint Special Operations Forces, Psychological Operations Forces, U.S. Army. Psychological operations, officially known as Military Information Support Operations, are specialized units under U.S. Army Special Operations Command. Their mission is to influence foreign populations through information campaigns, propaganda, and targeted messaging. PSYOP soldiers develop and deliver information products, such as leaflets, radio broadcasts, social media messaging, and in-person engagements to shape perceptions and support U.S. strategic goals. These units are highly trained in cultural analysis, language skills, and media production. They operate worldwide, often in coordination with civil affairs and other special operations forces. Fire Team. A fire team consists of 4 SEAL operators, the smallest complete tactical unit capable of independent action. Each fire team contains a team leader who makes tactical decisions and 3 additional operators with specialized skills, including an assaulter, communicator, and designated marksman. Fire teams conduct reconnaissance, establish observation posts, and perform missions on small targets. The 4-man configuration allows for 360-degree security while moving through hostile territory. Squad. A squad consists of 8 SEAL operators and serves as the fundamental building block of SEAL platoon structure. Squad leadership falls to a squad leader, typically a chief petty officer, who commands the entire 8-man element. Within the squad, operators fill specific roles. The breacher defeats locked doors and barriers. The communicator operates radio systems and maintains encrypted communications. Snipers provide overwatch and precision fire. Assaulters specialize in close-quarters operations. Medical personnel treat injuries under pressure. Squads split into 2 4-man fire teams when missions require simultaneous actions at multiple locations. Platoon. A platoon consists of 16 SEAL operators and represents the standard deployment unit for naval special warfare. A lieutenant serves as the officer in charge, while the platoon chief, a senior enlisted operator, manages personnel and provides tactical expertise. The 16 operators divide into 2 8-man squads. Platoons possess extreme organizational flexibility, operating as a single unit, splitting into squads, dividing into fire teams, or fragmenting into 2-man reconnaissance teams. Platoons train together for 18 months before deployment through the SEAL Tactical Training and Readiness Program. Deployment length typically ranges from 6 to 7 months, conducting missions including reconnaissance operations, maritime operations, and partner force training. Task Unit. A task unit consists of 2 to 4 SEAL platoons, totaling 32 to 64 operators, plus a headquarters element. A lieutenant commander serves as the task unit commander, holding responsibility for all operations conducted by subordinate platoons. The headquarters includes an operations officer who manages mission planning, a targeting officer who analyzes intelligence, and a task unit chief who supervises enlisted operators. Task units deploy to specific geographic regions where they establish forward operating bases and assign missions to individual platoons based on intelligence requirements and operational tempo. SEAL Team. A SEAL team consists of approximately 300 personnel, including operators, support staff, and command elements. SEAL teams serve as the permanent home for SEAL operators throughout their careers. Command falls to a captain or commander with 15 to 20 years of experience. The senior enlisted leader is the Command Master Chief. SEAL teams operate on an 18-month cycle, including individual training, pre-deployment training, forward deployment, and post-deployment reset. The United States currently operates 10 active duty-numbered SEAL teams and 2 reserve SEAL teams. SEAL Team 1. SEAL Team 1 operates under Naval Special Warfare Group 1 at Coronado, California, and represents one of the original SEAL teams established in 1962. Team 1 focuses primarily on Western Pacific operations, maintaining forward presence through Naval Special Warfare Unit 1 in Guam. The team conducts operations throughout the Pacific Theater, including the Korean Peninsula, Philippine Sea, and South China Sea. Team 1 specializes in maritime interdiction, amphibious reconnaissance, and coastal infiltration missions. During the Vietnam War, Team 1 pioneered riverine operations and tactics that remain standard today. The team maintains close relationships with Allied Special Operations Forces throughout Asia, including South Korean, Japanese, and Australian units. Team 1 operators train extensively in tropical environments, underwater demolition, and ship boarding operations. The team regularly conducts training exercises with partner nations to build regional security capabilities and maintain readiness for crisis response throughout the Indo-Pacific region. SEAL Team 2. SEAL Team 2 operates under Naval Special Warfare Group 2 at Little Creek, Virginia, and stands as one of the founding SEAL teams. Team 2 pioneered many techniques still used across naval special warfare, including advanced diving operations and small boat tactics. The team specializes in European and African operations, maintaining forward presence through units in Stuttgart, Germany, and Rota, Spain. Team 2 conducts operations across NATO territories throughout the Mediterranean and deep into the African continent. The team played significant roles in operations in the Balkans during the 1990s and deployed extensively to Iraq and Afghanistan. Team 2 maintains expertise in cold weather operations for Arctic missions, maritime interdiction throughout the Mediterranean, and desert operations across North Africa. The team works closely with NATO Special Operations Forces and African partner nations, conducting joint training exercises and combined operations. Team 2 operators are proficient in multiple environments from frozen Norwegian fjords to Saharan deserts, making the team uniquely versatile for contingency operations across 3 continents. SEAL Team 3. SEAL Team 3 operates under Naval Special Warfare Group 1 at Coronado, California. Team 3 gained recognition during sustained operations in Iraq and Afghanistan, conducting thousands of missions over multiple deployment rotations. The team became highly proficient in desert operations, compound clearance, and urban operations during deployments to Ramadi in 2006, where Team 3 platoons operated continuously in challenging environments. The team operates primarily through Naval Special Warfare Unit 3 in Bahrain, serving as the primary West Coast element for Middle Eastern contingencies. Team 3 specializes in desert navigation, breaching fortified structures, vehicle interdiction, and operations in extreme heat conditions. The team maintains expertise in maritime operations throughout the Persian Gulf and Arabian Sea, including oil platform operations and shipboarding. Team 3 operators train extensively with explosive breaching techniques, advanced urban tactics, and integration with air support assets. The team has successfully completed hundreds of missions throughout the Middle East. SEAL Team 4. SEAL Team 4 operates under Naval Special Warfare Group 2 at Little Creek, Virginia. Team 4 distinguishes itself through environmental versatility, maintaining capabilities across the widest range of climates and terrains of any SEAL team. The team operates from Arctic Norway to African deserts to South American rainforests, requiring operators to master equipment and tactics for extreme environmental variations. Team 4 conducts Arctic warfare training in northern Scandinavia, learning cold weather survival, over snow mobility, and ice diving. For African operations, the team trains in desert navigation, heat management, and vehicle-mounted patrol techniques. South American missions require jungle warfare expertise, riverine operations, and tropical environment management. This environmental diversity makes Team 4 the primary choice for multi-climate contingency operations. The team maintains forward presence through units in Stuttgart and Rota, enabling rapid deployment across 3 continents. Team 4 operators regularly train with Norwegian Special Forces for Arctic missions, French units for African operations, and Colombian Special Forces for jungle warfare. The team participated in operations throughout Europe, missions in South America, and security cooperation efforts across Africa. SEAL Team 5. SEAL Team 5 operates under Naval Special Warfare Group 1 at Coronado, California. Team 5 maintains dual-region proficiency, rotating between Pacific operations through Guam and Middle Eastern missions through Bahrain. This dual theater responsibility requires the team to maintain expertise in both maritime environments and desert terrain simultaneously. Team 5 deployed extensively during operations in Iraq, conducting urban missions and training Iraqi Special Operations Forces. The team also operates throughout the Pacific, conducting maritime security operations and building partnership capacity with Asian allies. Team 5 specializes in shipboarding operations, having perfected techniques for approaching vessels at sea, including cargo ships, oil tankers, and suspected smuggling craft. The team maintains proficiency in underwater approaches using closed-circuit diving systems. Team 5 operators train continuously in both desert compound operations and maritime vessel boarding, making the team uniquely flexible across mission sets. The team has interdicted smuggling operations, conducted scenarios aboard ships, and executed reconnaissance missions throughout both the Middle East and Pacific regions. SEAL Team 7. SEAL Team 7 operates under Naval Special Warfare Group 1 at Coronado, California. Team 7 conducted numerous operations during recent conflicts and maintains elite status within the SEAL community. The team specializes in both shipboarding operations and land-based missions, regularly integrating with air assets for complex insertion and extraction operations. Team 7 pioneered advanced helicopter insertion techniques, including fast rope insertions onto moving vessels and rooftop landings in urban environments. The team deployed to Iraq, where platoons conducted nighttime missions, often executing multiple operations in a single evening. Team 7 maintains expertise in advanced breaching techniques, using both explosive charges and mechanical tools to defeat reinforced barriers. The team trains extensively with helicopter units, practicing insertions under various conditions, including brownout landings in desert dust and shipboard landings in rough seas. Team 7 operators are proficient in long-range marksmanship, close-quarters operations, and explosive ordnance employment. The team has successfully completed sensitive missions throughout the Middle East and Pacific regions. SEAL Team 8. SEAL Team 8 operates under Naval Special Warfare Group 2 at Little Creek, Virginia. Team 8 focuses heavily on Arctic warfare capabilities, maintaining the most advanced cold weather expertise within naval special warfare. The team deploys regularly to northern Norway, where operators train in temperatures reaching -40 degrees, learning survival techniques, over snow movement on skis and snowmobiles, and cold water operations. Team 8 maintains specialized equipment including cold weather diving suits, Arctic mobility vehicles, and extreme weather communication systems. Beyond Arctic missions, Team 8 simultaneously supports Mediterranean and African operations, requiring operators to transition rapidly between frozen landscapes and desert heat. The team conducted operations throughout Iraq and Afghanistan while maintaining readiness for European contingencies. Team 8 works closely with Norwegian Naval Special Operations Command, participating in annual winter exercises above the Arctic Circle. The team specializes in ice diving operations, cold weather parachute insertions, and survival in extreme cold environments. Team 8 operators are trained in avalanche response, cold injury treatment, and Arctic navigation. The team provides unique capabilities unavailable elsewhere in naval special warfare for operations in the world's most severe cold weather environments. SEAL Team 10. SEAL Team 10 operates under Naval Special Warfare Group 2 at Little Creek, Virginia. Team 10 coordinates closely with NATO partners and maintains the strongest relationships with European Special Operations Forces of any SEAL team. The team regularly conducts combined training exercises and actual operations with allied units, including British Special Boat Service, German Kampfschwimmer, Polish Grom, and Italian Komsabin. These partnerships enable intelligence sharing, combined operations, and access to training facilities throughout Europe. Team 10 deployed extensively to Afghanistan, where the team conducted operations alongside European partner forces in NATO coalition operations. The team specializes in maritime interdiction throughout the Mediterranean, countering smuggling operations and illegal trafficking. Team 10 maintains expertise in shipboarding, harbor reconnaissance, and underwater approaches to coastal facilities. The team participated in operations off the coast of Africa and security operations throughout the Mediterranean Sea. Team 10 operators train in multiple European languages and cultural awareness, enabling effective operations throughout Allied territories. The team provides rapid response capability for situations throughout the European theatre and maintains persistent presence through forward deployed elements. SEAL Team 17. SEAL Team 17 operates under Naval Special Warfare Group 11 at Coronado, California. As a reserve unit, Team 17 consists entirely of former active duty SEALs who maintain civilian careers while serving part-time through monthly drills and annual training. The team contains approximately 400 reservists, many with over a decade of active duty experience. During the Iraq and Afghanistan conflict, Team 17 mobilized hundreds of operators who deployed seamlessly with active duty teams, filling critical personnel shortages caused by sustained rotations. Reserve SEALs from Team 17 conducted identical missions alongside active duty teammates, with many receiving decorations for their service. The team also supports domestic operations, including disaster response, providing advanced diving capabilities for underwater search and recovery, and assisting federal agencies with specialized training. Team 17 operators maintain the same qualification standards as active duty personnel, passing annual physical fitness tests, weapons qualifications, and tactical proficiency evaluations. The team provides valuable retention of experienced operators who would otherwise leave naval special warfare entirely, preserving institutional knowledge and expertise. SEAL Team 18. SEAL Team 18 operates under Naval Special Warfare Group 11 at Little Creek, Virginia. Team 18 serves as the East Coast Reserve component with approximately 400 reservists. Many Team 18 members possess 15 to 20 years of active duty experience before transitioning to reserve status, bringing extensive operational knowledge. During sustained operations in Iraq and Afghanistan, Team 18 deployed hundreds of reserve operators who augmented active duty forces during periods of high operational tempo. Reserve SEALs from Team 18 served in forward operating bases, conducted operations, and trained partner forces alongside active duty teammates. The team supports domestic missions including security for major national events, providing specialized capabilities to federal law enforcement agencies and disaster response operations. Team 18 operators maintain proficiency through monthly training and annual exercises that replicate deployment conditions. The team enables experienced SEALs to continue serving while pursuing civilian careers, maintaining connection to naval special warfare and preserving knowledge that benefits the entire force. Reserve teams provide surge capability during conflicts while supporting homeland operations during peacetime. DEVGRU, the Naval Special Warfare Development Group, commonly known as DEVGRU or formerly SEAL Team 6, operates as the Tier 1 Special Mission Unit. DEVGRU falls under Joint Special Operations Command rather than Naval Special Warfare Command, placing the unit under direct tasking for missions of strategic national importance. Selection requires prior service in a conventional SEAL team with at least one deployment and typically 5 or more years of experience. The selection course, known as Green Team, lasts approximately 6 months, with an attrition rate exceeding 50%. Physical fitness standards exceed those of regular SEAL teams, and tactical proficiency requirements demand near-perfect performance. DEVGRU maintains its headquarters at Dam Neck Annex near Virginia Beach. Operator strength is estimated between 200 and 300 personnel organized into assault squadrons. Each assault squadron contains multiple troops that function similarly to SEAL platoons, but with enhanced capabilities. Training exceeds conventional standards in intensity and resource allocation, with the unit constructing full-scale mock-ups of target facilities for realistic rehearsals. DEVGRU conducted the operation in Pakistan in 2011. The unit has performed rescue operations and conducted sensitive missions throughout conflict zones. Equipment issued to DEVGRU operators includes specialized weapons and tools unavailable to conventional teams. Rotation through DEVGRU typically lasts 3 to 5 years before operators return to conventional SEAL teams, bringing elite expertise back to the broader force. Naval Special Warfare Groups. Naval Special Warfare Group 1 commands SEAL Teams 1, 3, 5, and 7 on the West Coast, managing deployment cycles for Middle Eastern and Pacific operations. Group 1 maintains forward units in Guam and Bahrain providing staging capability. Naval Special Warfare Group 2 commands SEAL Teams 2, 4, 8, and 10 on the East Coast, coordinating with European, African, and Southern commands. Forward units in Stuttgart and Rota enable operations across 3 continents. Naval Special Warfare Group 4 oversees special boat teams providing maritime mobility. Special Warfare Combatant Craft crewmen operate high-speed combat craft, inserting and extracting SEAL elements while providing fire support. Naval Special Warfare Group 8 oversees SEAL delivery vehicle teams operating mini-submarines for covert underwater insertion and special reconnaissance teams conducting intelligence collection using advanced technology. Naval Special Warfare Group 11 commands reserve SEAL Teams 17 and 18, mobilizing personnel during sustained operations. Naval Special Warfare Command. Naval Special Warfare Command, designated WARCOM, serves as the top-level command for all Navy SEAL teams and supporting elements. WARCOM maintains headquarters at Coronado and reports to United States Special Operations Command. Command falls to a Rear Admiral with over 30 years of experience. The commander holds responsibility for readiness of approximately 9,000 personnel, operational employment of all forces, training standards, equipment procurement, and strategic planning. WARCOM oversees all subordinate groups and coordinates with geographic combatant commanders for SEAL employment worldwide. The command establishes training standards and publishes doctrine governing operations. WARCOM manages the budget, personnel assignments, and operates the Naval Special Warfare Center, responsible for basic underwater demolition SEAL training. The command also operates the Mission Support Center, providing intelligence analysis, targeting support, and operational planning assistance to deployed elements. Understanding how command structures like WARCOM fit into the larger U.S. military chain gives important context across all branches. DEFCON 5, codenamed Fade Out, represents normal peacetime readiness. This is the baseline condition for the U.S. military. Operations continue on scheduled routines such as training exercises, equipment maintenance, and strategic planning. There are no credible threats of large-scale military attack. In practical terms, DEFCON 5 means that military personnel operate on normal duty cycles. Bases and installations are secure, but they function with standard security procedures rather than heightened measures. Naval fleets may conduct deployments planned months or even years in advance. For example, a carrier strike group could be sent to the Pacific for a scheduled 6-month deployment, focusing on training exercises with allies rather than preparing for combat. Army brigades may rotate through multinational drills, such as NATO exercises in Europe, with no sense of imminent threat. The posture at DEFCON 5 is about maintaining readiness without urgency. Intelligence collection continues, but at normal levels rather than expanded surveillance. Command centers function with regular staffing levels, and rapid response forces are not placed on special alert. The overall assumption is global stability with no expectation of immediate large-scale conflict. DEFCON 4, codenamed Double Take, marks a shift from routine operations to increased vigilance. While still technically a peacetime condition, this level is triggered when events raise the risk of instability or conflict. The purpose of DEFCON 4 is to improve situational awareness and prepare for the possibility that a crisis could develop. Operationally, DEFCON 4 involves expanded intelligence gathering. Reconnaissance satellites may be redirected to monitor a specific region more closely, and signals intelligence teams intensify their analysis of communications traffic. Military installations and embassies tighten security, increasing patrols and enforcing stricter access controls. Personnel may be required to remain closer to their duty stations, reducing the time needed to mobilize if the situation worsens. This state is not only about military posture but also about deterrence. By raising to DEFCON 4, the US signals both internally and externally that it is monitoring events carefully and will not be caught off guard. For example, during periods of political instability in a nuclear-armed nation, regional US forces might be elevated to DEFCON 4. Though DEFCON 4 does not mean conflict is imminent, it is an early warning posture. It ensures that forces can escalate quickly if the situation deteriorates, bridging the gap between routine readiness and wartime preparation. DEFCON 3, codenamed Roundhouse, signals a serious increase in force readiness. At this level, military units prepare for the possibility of rapid deployment. One of the clearest requirements is that the US Air Force must be able to launch strategic bomber wings within 15 minutes of receiving an order. This short timeline represents a dramatic escalation from normal peacetime conditions. When raised to DEFCON 3, various branches of the military shift posture. Air defense systems are placed on continuous standby, ensuring that fighter aircraft can scramble at a moment's notice. Additional surveillance aircraft may be deployed, and command centers conduct constant communications checks to confirm that no technical failures could slow down an emergency response. Personnel are often kept on extended duty hours or placed on call, reducing any delays in mobilization. DEFCON 3 serves as both preparation and warning. Militarily, it ensures rapid response capability. Politically, it sends a message to potential adversaries that the US is positioned for immediate action. This signaling effect is important because it can deter escalation by making it clear that any aggressive move would be met with overwhelming force. Historically, DEFCON 3 has been used in high-stakes moments. During the Yom Kippur War of 1973, when Israel was under attack by Egypt and Syria, the Soviet Union threatened to intervene. This was a calculated warning that Soviet involvement could result in direct confrontation. Another example came after the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks, when the US military was raised to DEFCON 3 due to uncertainty about whether more attacks were imminent. These examples show how DEFCON 3 functions as a tool for both deterrence and readiness in unpredictable situations. DEFCON 2, codenamed Fast Pace, represents the brink of war. At this level, the US military prepares to engage in major combat operations within 6 hours. It is not a symbolic posture. It is a direct acknowledgement that large-scale war, potentially involving nuclear weapons, is a distinct possibility. Operationally, DEFCON 2 places the entire military on near maximum alert. Strategic bombers may be launched into airborne holding patterns, flying close to their potential targets so that they can strike immediately if ordered. Intercontinental ballistic missile crews insert their launch keys and stand ready to fire on command. Submarines carrying nuclear missiles position themselves for rapid response. Ground forces shift into full combat readiness, with logistics and supply lines primed for immediate deployment. Command posts are reinforced, and the President is often moved to secure facilities, such as underground bunkers or airborne command centers. Historically, the most notable case of DEFCON 2 occurred during the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962. When US reconnaissance confirmed that the Soviet Union had placed nuclear missiles in Cuba, just 90 miles from American shores, the situation escalated rapidly. President John F. Kennedy ordered a naval blockade of the island, and US Strategic Air Command was raised to DEFCON 2. For several days, nuclear bombers remained airborne, missile crews sat ready, and the world came dangerously close to all-out nuclear war. This remains the only confirmed instance where the US has reached DEFCON 2. Another period sometimes associated with regional DEFCON 2 postures occurred during the Persian Gulf War in 1991, when US forces and coalition partners prepared for a large-scale campaign against Iraq. Though not as globally severe as the Cuban Missile Crisis, the posture reflected the real possibility that the conflict could escalate further. DEFCON 1, codenamed Cocked Pistol, is the maximum state of military readiness. This level is not a warning, it is the confirmation that a major strategic attack is either imminent or already underway. DEFCON 1 is synonymous with nuclear war. At DEFCON 1, all US command and control systems shift into wartime mode. Nuclear launch authority is decentralized to ensure that retaliatory strikes can still occur, even if Washington, D.C. is destroyed. Pre-planned nuclear war strategies are executed, meaning targets have already been assigned and forces are prepared to act without delay. The President and top officials may be in airborne command centers, coordinating survival and retaliation measures. Every branch of the military is actively mobilized with nuclear, conventional, and defensive forces fully engaged. In practical terms, DEFCON 1 would likely involve satellite detection of a massive launch of enemy intercontinental ballistic missiles. Upon confirmation of such an attack, the United States would declare DEFCON 1 and immediately execute its nuclear response plan. Strategic bombers already airborne would proceed to their targets, submarines would launch ballistic missiles, and ground-based missile crews would carry out pre-authorized strikes. The world has never officially reached DEFCON 1. It remains a theoretical state used only in hypothetical war planning and training exercises. A scenario that could trigger DEFCON 1 would be a confirmed large-scale nuclear launch against the US or its allies. In such a case, the DEFCON system would move from deterrence and readiness into the actual execution of nuclear war. While DEFCON 1 represents the absolute peak of US military readiness, modern conflicts are increasingly defined by precision strikes, drone warfare, and asymmetric tactics. Private Basic. This is the entry rank assigned immediately upon recruitment. Soldiers undergo basic military qualification training, learning drill movements, weapons handling, physical fitness standards, and military discipline. They have zero command authority and work under constant supervision, performing equipment maintenance and assisting higher ranks. The rank insignia is a blank slip-on with no markings. Advancement occurs after completing basic environmental training and qualification level 3, requiring approximately 30 months of service. Private train awarded after completing qualification level 3 and 30 months of service. These soldiers have finished occupational training and are qualified in their military trade, infantry, artillery, logistics, or communications. The insignia shows a single inverted chevron. They execute specialized tasks with reduced supervision, participate in field exercises, and maintain trade-specific equipment. This rank transitions soldiers from trainee to functional military professional, though command authority remains absent. Corporal, the first non-commissioned officer rank with legal authority to issue commands. Corporals supervise teams of 2 to 4 soldiers, ensure task completion, and maintain discipline. The insignia displays 2 inverted chevrons. Promotion requires qualification level 5 training, leadership demonstration, and typically 4 to 6 years of service. They conduct initial training for team members, enforce safety protocols, manage equipment accountability, and make tactical decisions within their scope. Corporals specialize in areas like combat operations, logistics, or technical support. Master Corporal, a senior non-commissioned member with authority over all corporals. The insignia shows 2 inverted chevrons below a maple leaf. With 8 to 12 years of service, they supervise sections of 8 to 12 soldiers, coordinate with other section leaders, and mentor junior corporals. They enforce discipline, ensure equipment maintenance across teams, and provide tactical expertise. In combat units, they function as section second in commands. Promotion requires qualification level 6 training, leadership course completion, and competitive selection. Sergeant, the only senior, non-commissioned officer in the junior NCO category. Sergeants command sections of 8 to 12 soldiers, holding responsibility for training, discipline, and operational effectiveness. The insignia displays 3 inverted chevrons below a maple leaf. With 12 to 15 years of experience, they plan small unit operations, conduct performance evaluations, and maintain equipment accountability. They make real-time tactical decisions, communicate situation reports to higher ranks, and translate operational orders into executable tasks while managing soldier morale and readiness. Warrant Officer, entry into the warrant officer cadre with substantially increased responsibility. The insignia consists of the St. Edward's Crown. With 15 to 20 years of service, they serve as company quartermaster sergeants or platoon warrant officers, supervising training programs for platoons or companies. They manage equipment inventories worth millions, coordinate logistics for 100 to 200 soldiers, and advise officers on technical matters. They conduct counseling with subordinate NCOs, investigate disciplinary incidents, and oversee maintenance programs for vehicles and weapons systems. Master Warrant Officer, the senior leaders serving as primary advisors to company commanders. The insignia features the crown within a laurel wreath. With 20 to 25 years of service, they hold positions like company sergeant major, overseeing 100 to 200 soldiers. They enforce discipline across subunits, coordinate multi-platoon training, and supervise warrant officers. They manage administrative functions including personnel reporting and equipment tracking, coordinate battalion-level logistics support, and establish base camp operations during deployment. deployments. They represent enlisted concerns to officers and serve as acting company commanders when needed. Chief Warrant Officer, the highest non-commissioned rank serving as senior enlisted advisor to battalion or brigade commanders. The insignia displays the Canadian coat of arms. With 25 to 35 years of service, they hold positions like regimental sergeant major in units of 500 to several thousand soldiers. They advise commanders on morale, discipline, welfare and readiness, establish standards across large units, and preserve regimental traditions. They conduct formal inspections, review serious disciplinary cases, participate in promotion boards, and coordinate with command teams on training calendars and resource allocation. Senior Appointment Chief Warrant Officer. These positions represent the most senior non-commissioned member appointments at formation, brigade, division, base, or wing levels. Personnel in these roles advise commanders on all matters affecting non-commissioned members and serve as the primary link between leadership and enlisted personnel across the formation. They typically work alongside colonels or brigadier generals and may hold positions such as brigade sergeant major, division sergeant major, base chief warrant officer, or wing chief warrant officer. The insignia displays the coat of arms positioned over the central insignia of the Canadian Armed Forces badge, featuring crossed swords, an anchor, and an eagle in flight. These appointments require extensive experience and demonstrated leadership at lower levels. Senior Appointment Chief Warrant Officers influence policy affecting hundreds or thousands of personnel, coordinate professional development programs, and maintain standards across geographically dispersed units. They participate in senior leadership meetings and provide critical perspective on how strategic decisions affect enlisted members. Command Chief Warrant Officer. Command Chief Warrant Officers serve at the command level, advising senior commanders on non-commissioned member issues across entire commands. These appointments include positions such as the Canadian Army Sergeant Major, who serves the Commander Canadian Army, and equivalent positions in other major commands. Command Chief Warrant Officers work directly with Lieutenant Generals or Vice Admirals and serve on strategic leadership teams. The insignia shows the coat of arms with a wreath of laurel wrapped around the base. The appointment requires Armed Forces Council approval. Command Chief Warrant Officers bridge the gap between tactical formations and strategic command levels, representing non-commissioned members at the highest operational levels. They influence policy affecting thousands of personnel across their entire command, coordinate with senior appointments at lower levels, and ensure enlisted perspectives inform strategic planning. They travel extensively to visit units, assess morale and readiness, and communicate command priorities to personnel at all levels. Canadian Armed Forces Chief Warrant Officer. The most senior non-commissioned member appointment in the entire Canadian Armed Forces. Created in 1978, this position serves as the primary advisor to the Chief of Defence Staff on all issues relating to non-commissioned members across Army, Navy, and Air Force. The appointment holder assists the Chief of Defence Staff in various duties and represents the voice of all non-commissioned members, approximately 80,000 personnel, at the highest level of military leadership. The Canadian Armed Forces Chief Warrant Officer holds the substantive rank of Chief Warrant Officer if from the Army or Air Force, or Chief Petty Officer First Class if from the Navy. Regardless of service background, the appointment title remains Canadian Armed Forces Chief Warrant Officer. The insignia displays the coat of arms of Canada, surrounded by a wreath of 20 maple leaves in gold thread, worn on the lower sleeve of the service dress jacket. The cap badge shows the coat of arms in full-color metallic thread. Selection follows a stringent process as part of the General Officer Selection Procedures. The Canadian Armed Forces Chief Warrant Officer participates in senior leadership meetings with the Chief of Defence Staff and other senior commanders, influences policies affecting all enlisted personnel, coordinates with Command Chief Warrant Officers across all services, and serves as the senior enlisted voice in national defence planning. The position demands exceptional leadership, deep understanding of all three services, and ability to represent diverse enlisted perspectives at the strategic level. Officer Cadet. Individuals undergoing officer training at Royal Military College or commissioning programs. The insignia shows one pip above a white band. They learn leadership principles, tactical doctrine, and military ethics while participating in training exercises and physical fitness programs. Officer cadets hold no command authority and are never addressed as sir or ma'am. They observe operations, practice giving orders in scenarios, and complete field training exercises practicing platoon tactics. Training typically spans 4 years before commissioning to Second Lieutenant. Second Lieutenant. The first commissioned officer rank awarded upon training completion. The insignia displays a single pip. They command platoons of 30 to 40 soldiers under guidance from experienced NCOs and senior officers. They plan training exercises, ensure readiness standards, and conduct operational briefings. Second lieutenants rely heavily on platoon warrant officers for technical advice and learn to balance mission requirements with soldier welfare. They handle administrative duties, including performance evaluations and equipment accountability. This rank typically lasts 1 to 2 years before promotion. Lieutenant officers with proven platoon leadership and 2 to 4 years of commissioned service. The insignia consists of 2 pips. They command platoons with greater independence, plan complex exercises involving coordination with supporting elements, and develop detailed operational orders covering objectives and contingency plans. They mentor second lieutenants and may serve as company second-in-command when captains are unavailable. During deployments, they maintain operational tempo, manage soldier morale through extended periods, and make tactical decisions protecting subordinates while accomplishing missions. Captain officers commanding companies of 100 to 200 soldiers or serving in battalion staff positions. With 5 to 10 years of service, the insignia displays 3 pips. They bear full responsibility for company training, discipline, and operational effectiveness. Captains develop comprehensive training plans, allocate resources across platoons, and conduct performance evaluations for officers and senior NCOs. They manage company budgets, approve expenditures, and ensure accountability for equipment worth tens of millions. Staff captains serve as operations, intelligence, or logistics officers at battalion level, coordinating across multiple companies. Major, the lowest field grade officer position with 10 to 15 years of service. The insignia consists of the St. Edward's Crown. They command specialized companies or serve as primary staff officers at battalion or brigade headquarters. As operations officers, they coordinate tactical plans across battalions of 500 to 1,000 soldiers. They develop operational plans involving complex synchronization of combat and support elements, brief commanders on concepts and risk assessments, and supervise captains and lieutenants on staff. During operations, they may serve as battle captains, managing tactical operations centers, and coordinating fire support. Lieutenant Colonel officers commanding battalions of 500 to 1,000 soldiers or serving in senior brigade staff positions. With 15 to 20 years of service, the insignia shows 1 PP below the St. Edward's Crown. They bear ultimate responsibility for battalion readiness, training, and operations. They develop training plans spanning entire years, establish priorities across companies, and allocate resources including funding and equipment. They manage budgets in millions, oversee vehicle and weapons maintenance, and represent battalions in ceremonial functions. Staff lieutenant colonels serve as chief operations officers or logistics directors at brigade level, synchronizing activities across multiple battalions. Colonel officers commanding brigades of 3,000 to 5,000 soldiers or serving at division headquarters. With 20 to 25 years of service, the insignia displays 2 pips below the St. Edward's Crown. They develop strategic plans affecting thousands of soldiers, coordinate with division commanders on operational taskings, and integrate infantry, armor, artillery, and logistics battalions into cohesive forces. They manage budgets in tens of millions, oversee equipment acquisition, and participate in joint planning with Air Force and naval counterparts. Staff colonels serve as directors of operations or logistics at division headquarters, advising generals on policy matters and strategic planning. Brigadier General, first general officer rank, commanding brigades or serving at Army headquarters. With 25 to 30 years of service, the insignia consists of 1 maple leaf beneath crossed sword and baton surmounted by the crown. They command brigades during deployments, coordinate major exercises involving thousands, and represent the Army internationally. They develop operational concepts, coordinate with special operations elements, and manage relationships with allied forces. They oversee professional development programs and mentor colonels. Staff brigadier generals serve as directors of major functional areas at Army headquarters, translating national defense strategies into executable plans. Major General 2-star officers commanding divisions of 10,000 to 15,000 soldiers. With 30 to 35 years of service, the insignia displays 2 maple leaves beneath crossed sword and baton with crown. They develop operational plans for multi-brigade missions, make strategic decisions affecting force structure and procurement priorities, and coordinate with political leadership. They manage budgets in hundreds of millions, oversee personnel management for thousands, and represent the Army in national defense planning. Staff Major Generals serve as deputy commanders at Army headquarters, coordinating all functional areas including operations, intelligence, and logistics. Lieutenant General. 3-star officers commanding Army-level organizations or serving as Deputy Chief of Defense Staff. With 35 to 40 years of service, the insignia consists of 3 maple leaves beneath crossed sword and baton with crown. They serve as Commander of the Canadian Army, responsible for all personnel, training, and operations. They develop strategic plans shaping the Army's structure and capabilities, coordinate with the Chief of Defense Staff, and represent the Army before Parliament. They manage the Army's entire budget spanning billions, establish doctrine governing training and operations, and participate in NATO military committees. General. The highest rank, typically held by the Chief of Defense Staff. With 40 or more years of service, the insignia displays 4 maple leaves beneath crossed sword and baton with crown. This officer serves as senior military advisor to the Minister of National Defense and Prime Minister, commanding all Canadian Armed Forces personnel across Army, Navy, and Air Force, approximately 95,000 members total. They develop strategic plans for worldwide operations, allocate resources across all services, and ensure readiness for diverse missions. They participate in cabinet meetings, brief Parliament, coordinate with NATO leadership, and oversee major equipment acquisition programs while managing relationships with political leadership and international partners.